Back in the spot, back in the prediction spot. So I wanted to get in a little Canelo versus Bivol prediction, and I've watched some stuff on this fight, but not everything. I'm not gonna order it. I don't really order fights anymore. I've been done with that for a while. After that Fury Wilder decision, I haven't really ordered any fights unless somebody just happened to do it or I went somewhere or whatever the case was. So it'll be live events or delays for me for the next while. But shouts to Bocce for reminding me to do this because I was going to forget about it. So it's going to be quick because I don't have all that much to say, but I will say this. First and foremost, I got Canelo by late stoppage, which is like typical shit. I mean, that's kind of what goes on in almost every Canelo fight. And I think it's going to be similar to most other Canelo fights. Not necessarily in the fact that Bivol has a similar style or anything like that, but I just think at the end of the day the results are going to be similar. It's Canelo's going to go slow and he's going to step on the gas pedal in the second half of the fight and get a stoppage. That's my prediction. So as far as some details for this fight, I don't think that Bivol is listen, take this with a grain of salt because I'm not overly informed on Bivol. I've seen a couple of his fights. He does have some pretty decent wins over some good guys, Pascal, Joe Smith, a couple other people that I'm probably forgetting about, but he's got some pretty decent wins under his belt at that weight. Canelo did knock out Kovalev at this weight, so I don't want to say that like Canelo can't compete at this weight or anything like that, but it's definitely not Canelo's natural weight. And let's be real about Kovalev. Like I'm not trying to discredit Canelo's win or anything because what he did was extremely impressive going up to that weight and taking out that guy in particular. But at the same time, I do not feel that Kovalev was the same at that point. I remember after the second Ward fight, me and my boy were talking, and I told him, I was like, bro, I think, I don't think Kovalev is ever going to be the same again after that. And, he's won a couple of fights after that. I think he beat, what's his name in the rematch, the dude that he had lost to, I can't remember his name right now, but he beat him in a rematch. So it's not like Kovalev hasn't had any wins, and I'm not saying Kovalev sucks, but just Kovalev is not the same. That wasn't really the same Kovalev that Canelo stopped. So Bivol more of, he's definitely a natural 175er, so there's going to be, a natural size advantage. Whether they, I don't know what they're going to come in the ring on, but, naturally there's a little bit of a size advantage there for Bivol. And Bivol's a good fighter, but I don't think that's going to cut it at this stage against Canelo, man. I mean, we've seen Canelo wipe out some great fighters, in my opinion. So I don't think, just being a solid 175er is going to cut it in this scenario. And I think that Bivol's not big enough for me to just say that, Canelo just bit off more than he can chew in this one. I mean, if you put Canelo in the ring against Fury or something like that, right? Like there has to be a point somewhere for somebody, whether it's Pacquiao at 112 or it's Canelo at 160 or whatever guy you're going to take. There's a line somewhere where at some point the skill level almost doesn't even matter, where it's like, all right, Wilder or Fury versus this guy or whatever from 140. It's like, bro, come on, there's weight classes here for a reason. So at some point, people do become, in general, too big. And I don't think that's the case here. I don't think that it's a scenario where, this guy's just going to win on sheer size alone. And again, I think Bivol's good. I think he's a solid technical fighter, and he's got some good wins under his belt. And I think that Bivol's gonna come out and put up a decent fight. But I just think it's gonna look like a pretty typical Canelo fight. I haven't seen anything, and I could be wrong. Again, limited knowledge here on Bivol, but from what I've seen of him, I haven't seen anything special enough that I'm going to sit here and say, I think this is the guy. I think this guy can do it. I think right now, style-wise, David Benavidez probably has like one of the best chances to beat Canelo. I think the thing with the higher weights with Canelo too that becomes a problem is when the weights are moving up, right? It's always going to be a question, or you're going to bring up the guy's power, right? So it's like, okay, well, he wins at 147, but can he take a shot from a Golovkin at 160 or whatever the case is, a really hard puncher 2 or 3 weight divisions up? The thing with Canelo is he can. He's taken shots from some of the biggest punchers in every weight division, and not only has he not been knocked out, he hasn't been knocked down, and he's very rarely even been hurt at all. I mean, I've seen Canelo hurt a handful of times max, if that. So again, I don't think this is a case where it's like, oh, well, he better not get hit by this guy, because the times that he does get caught by these big punchers, he takes them so well. Now, that's not to say that Canelo can't be stopped. I understand everybody's human. You hit somebody in the right place at the right time and they don't see it coming. Anybody can be knocked unconscious, so I'm not trying to downplay that, but I just don't see it happening in this one. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I didn't see anything that special from Bivol that I think that, his power, Canelo better not get hit by him or he's going to go to sleep. I don't see, I see some mistakes that Bivol makes with his left hand, and he doesn't seem, to the naked eye, from what I've seen in just a handful of fights that I watched, he doesn't seem to have that many levels to go to. Now, maybe nobody has brought that out of him. Maybe Canelo brings it out of him, but I don't know, man. Just style-wise, I just don't think that this is the one. I think Billy Joe's style had potential to give Canelo problems. Caleb Plant, kind of similar in a certain instance. That's not to say that either of those guys were dominating on the cards at the time that Canelo stopped them, because they weren't. But I'm just saying, leading into the fight, looking at the styles, it was like, okay, this guy can move. He's got good footwork. He's got a good jab. He's got good combinations. He's got good head movement. Comes in on angles, this and that. And it was like, okay, maybe he can dance around and box and pot shot Canelo and just, cruise to an 11-1, 10-2 points victory and just stay out of danger. But again, in all those fights, we've seen that Canelo finds a way and puts such extreme pressure on people so intelligently. Like, he stays right up in your chest without really getting hit very much. And I'm not saying he doesn't get hit. He's not Floyd Mayweather. He doesn't literally go rounds or almost entire fights without ever taking a clean punch. He does get hit. But for the pressure that he puts on you and how in the pocket and right on top of you he'll stay and trade with you, he doesn't get hit a lot. And like I said, when he does, he takes it very, very well. So it's just hard for me to come up with a way that I see Bivol winning this fight. And again, I'm not trying to knock Bivol. I think that Bivol's a very solid fighter. But I think that just at this point in time, Canelo is a special fighter. Why that is, we can debate, till whenever. Did he eat tainted meat? Is he on shit? I'm going to be real with you, bro. I think that 90% of people are on shit. So I kind of just look at it. If he's on shit and he's on shit and they're they kind of both silently know they're on shit and they're okay with it, they're going to fight each other. I mean, fuck it, I'm still going to watch it, right? Same thing as neither guy being on shit and me watching that. If it's a level playing field, then, it's their lives, it's their health. So I'm not really even going to get involved in that shit. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Again, you're not just an average fighter and then you take something and you fucking turn into Floyd Mayweather or the next greatest thing that's ever come along. That's not the way it works. Obviously, you need an extreme amount of talent to have that baseline and then bring that to a superhuman level. So whether he's on something or not, I don't want to knock it. I think the majority of people are. And again, whether he's on something or not, if he's on something, he's on something. And if nobody can catch him taking it, then he's going to be on something in the Bivol fight. So again, at this current moment, at this point in time, I just don't see any of these guys putting a stop to Canelo right now. I think David Benavidez has the best chance just because of the style and the weight and shit. Like, Canelo would have to go back down, and Benavidez is very, 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 very busy. A lot of combinations. He would have to probably go almost the whole fight without really getting caught with anything too serious, but... And again, that's not to say that he's going to do it or that fight's going to happen, but I think if it does, in my opinion, he's got one of the best shots right now. So, to end the video, man, I don't see it happening this weekend. I'll take Canelo by stoppage in the 9th. That'll be my final prediction there. Peace.